Good evening, Pak Harto and all of my classmates. Hi, Clementin is here, and today I will present about top 5 tips and tricks for powerful digital facilitation. And before going to the presentation, then I want to show you this picture. So as you can see in the picture, there are a lot of people are running into the screen, and meanwhile there are a lot of round things that we usually say as virus. So can you guess what is the meaning of this picture? Actually, this picture is our reality right now. Yes, now we are facing COVID-19 pandemic, and because of it, now we are facing digitalization. Yeah, I know that digitalization is not a new thing for us because we have lived with our digital tools for the past few years, even before the pandemic. But the pandemic forces us to live with a lot of sudden changes, and those changes are the changes that we have never imagined before. Those changes are the changes that we have never been prepared for before. Next, okay, here I want to make sure that you know what is the meaning of digitalization. So digitalization is the act of using digital tools, is the act of convert information from analog form into digital form. Or I can say that digitalization is the act of doing some activities with the help of our digital tools. Okay, here, this slide and the previous slide is actually related. Why? Because now we do most or more activities online, like learning, studying, shopping, working, like those things are the activities that we could do offline before the pandemic, but now we have to do those activities online. It means in this situation, we spend more time to depend on our digital tools. It means if we cannot use our digital tools as optimally as possible, then we cannot get a lot of advantages. But if we can use them as optimally as possible, then we can see how powerful they are, we can see how great they are, we can see how helpful they are. Okay, so in this article, here in the presentation, I will give the tips coming from Halfspace, how to use the digital tools as optimally as possible so that we can get a lot of advantages. Okay, besides tips and tricks, I will also review the best practices, which is also coming from experts. And as I said before, this information comes from Halfspace. So what is Halfspace? Have you ever heard before? This is Halfspace. Halfspace is a platform. Yes, you can find it easily in the Google later. And as a platform, Halfspace can be used for a lot of events, such as workshop, learning programs, and organizational development. And in this presentation, let us focus on this part. How can we use our digital tools? How can we use the other platform, not only Hourspace, so that so that the digital tools can facilitate our workshop. Okay, so that those tools can bring advantages for us as the facilitators or for our participants later. Great, so that's the short introduction, and now let's move on to the first tip. Oops, sorry. Okay, so this is the first tip or the first power of our digital tools. Involving large group of people. Yes, in offline meeting, usually the participants are no more than 30 people or no more than 100, like 100 people. Why? Because the committees have to manage both participants and the facilitators in the same time at the same time in the same place, right? But because of digitalization, then the facilitators can facilitate thousands of people. Why? Because we have great platforms such as Zoom. Yeah, I know that Zoom has limitation, but we have to remember that Zoom can be extended to YouTube. So, for example, if if I were the facilitator and I had thousands of participants. Wow. And I used Zoom meeting, then I can extend it, then I could extend my meeting to YouTube so that my participants who could not join the Zoom could join the YouTube version. Of course, this is still at the same time, so they may ask questions through the comment of the YouTube live. And here is another platform, which is Webinar Jam. If you need it, you can try to Google it because I also find it in the Google. Webinar Jam can accept up to 5,000 participants and up to 6 presenters. So many, right? So not only thousands of participants, but also we can have more than one, more than two facilitators. Because we can have 6 presenters or 6 facilitators. But I want to remind you, if you are the facilitators and if you want to facilitate thousands of people, make sure that all of your participants are involved at the same time. No one is left behind. You have to take care of them. You have to make sure that they have their rights. You have to make sure that they have their place. Because if they just give the name, if they just present without any participation, then their presence will be meaningless, right? So you have to make sure that those thousands of your participants are involved. The most important thing is not quantity but their participation. So you have to make sure that they have the responsibility to active to be active to participate, whether with other facilitator or with other participants. Okay, so this is the example of the practice coming from Matthew Finance. So he trained 500 people in a new way. Why in a new way? Because usually offline meeting, the theme of the meeting is chosen by the head of the event or is chosen by the committee. But here, the facilitator can ask a question. So this is a house-based platform. The facilitator asks question. This is only an example, right? What can you do with house space? So only an example. And the participants can give commands, can share their opinions by writing it on the platform. And the platform can do its job well. Why? Because the platform can cluster the theme. For example, so this is the theme. For example, if I were the participants and if I saw that, oh, this is the theme that I like. Oh, I have the same opinion with these people, then I can join the discussion. But if I see that, oh, I do not have any point of view here, I do not have any opinion here, and I do not think that this theme is mine, then okay, I can leave it. So it's very great. The participants can choose their themes, can suggest their themes, and then the participants can join to the discussion that they like based on their interest. But at the end of the event, at the end of the discussion, the facilitators must summary the result of the discussion. For example, the facilitator choose the biggest two or the top two of themes. And then the facilitator said, okay, this is the top two of themes. And the facilitator has to report the result to the participants so that the participants can implement these results in the future. For example, the participants are coming from one company and uh, they have to implement this result to improve the quality of their company. So people put their heads together, which increased commitment. They commit to do it, they commit to deal with the result, but to get the result, they have to discuss it first. They may disagree, they may agree, but at the end, they get the best result to improve the quality of their company. Okay, if you want to involve large groups of people in your workshop, then you have to remember this tip. You have to be well prepared. You have to know when is the best time to use discussion boards. You have to know when is the best time to use digital tools. And within this pandemic, I'm sure that we have to use digital tools completely. But if you are not in this pandemic, then you may have a partner. For example, me myself, I as the first facilitator, then I will manage the discussion first, and my partner Rina can manage the activity uses that uses digital tools. So we can make sure that all of our participants uh, can participate, can get their rights to participate, to get knowledge in this workshop. Okay, next, the second tip or the second power is digital tools can make changes, and change happens conversation by conversation. So when we are talking about conversation, then we are talking about communication, right? Either between the participants and participants, or between the participants and facilitator. Here, digitalization brings this discussion into the daylight. What does it mean? It means our digital tools can highlight the discussion so that it can be seen by all participants. Okay, so as an example, I screen captured our discussion in the Bella. Here, even the participants, like even other students come at a different time, but we can still respond to one another. We can still discuss even the time is different. Why? Because what has been written will still be there. Okay, meanwhile, if it is offline meeting, offline workshop, if I share my opinion, and for example, you go to the restroom, then you will miss my opinion, right? This is the same. If I go to the restroom and you share your opinion, then I will miss your idea. I will miss the discussion, right? Because everything will not be repeated. But in the digital tools, everything will be recorded. What has been written will still be there. So even though you go to the restroom, even though you come to the different at the different time, but you can still follow the discussion without missing anything. And digitalization translates skills in facilitating conversation and team discussion. Why? Because as I said before, what has been written still be there. So the facilitators have to make sure that the facilitator read everything written there. The facilitator has to make sure that he or she responds to the discussion, responds to the participants' opinion. Because everything is written, so you have as facilitators, you have no reasons, you have no excuses not to read them, not to respond them. And this is what happened in Nora. It's about communication. So before starting the discussion, Nora asked questions to the participants directly, and during the event, then she asked other questions and asked the participants to write their answer on the platform. So this is the questions that she used. Actually, this is a good start. Why? Because the participants become more prepared even before the discussion is started, right? Because Nora tried to engage the participants in the beginning of the discussion, so when the discussion is started, then the participants are already there. Their brain, their mind, their readiness are already there. Everyone was committed to the event from the very beginning, as I said before, even before the discussion is started. And let us focus on the questions used by Nora. This is what the expert suggested. So if you want to activate your participants, then you can ask questions and you can call their name. And when you call their name, then the person you call will answer their questions, meanwhile other participants will directly pay attention to that person. Okay, next, the third is storytelling on a Queen scale. So, in digital tools, every discussion, idea, story which have been written will still be there, right? It means you can use it. You can produce something which is bigger, which is much deeper than regular online discussion. So this is what happened with Tapio. He made video clips by collecting the participants' ideas, the participants' discussions. And yeah, he made something great, and the video clips could be used to promote changes. The video clips could be used like for next year for other participants and other things. But the tip is, if you want to make such this activity, then you have to make sure you focus on the topic. Do not ask a lot of questions because it will be very difficult for you to sort them. So you can focus on one topic and you can give like one or two questions, and then you can compile, you can collect, you can gather all the participants' ideas into your video. Okay, next the fourth is make it easy to debrief and share. Yes, digital tools help you to ask questions to your participants, whether like about what they got from the workshop, what they have learned from the workshop. So this is about the brief, asking questions, checking what they got. Here you can ask questions, and the participants can give their answers. For example, if I become the participants and I see that, oh, I have the same opinion with Sunny, then I can't like give it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can like score it 5 because I strongly agree with it. And also I can like their idea, like other participants' idea, or reply on their comments. So the questions not only for me, not only for one participant, but we can also respond to the answers. Or if you want to get shorter answer, you can use this one, skilled questions. You may ask a questions, and then you can ask them to give the skill like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 about content, about activity, and other things. And digitalization makes sharing thoughts and document easier. What does it mean? Here, if you open the house page, this is the first page that you will see. You can see your team, you can see the questions posted by the facilitators, and the most important thing, you can see the material uploaded by the facilitator. So it's very easy to download it, and it's very easy for the facilitator to share the materials to the participants. Talking about debrief and sharing materials, here, Vesa, before the event, he asked the participants' expectation about the event, and after the event, he put the participants into pairs or into groups, and then the participants have to discuss something. And later, they have to share the result of the discussion, or they can ask questions. Same as before, the questions and the discussion could be written in the platform, and then he can use the word cloud like this. So the result will be different, right? And then he also used the online chat, and he asked the participants to share their emotion, like for their group emotion, their group mood. How is the activity? How is the discussion going? So they use images describing their mood. The expert is, if you want to ask questions, you have to make sure that your questions is a good questions, which are clear and simple. The question must be relatable to the participants' experiences or participants' problems, and the questions must be important not only for you as the facilitators but also for the participants. And last, your question must be inspiring for the participants. That's why, in order to give the good questions, you have to understand your participants well. Otherwise, you cannot give the questions which are relatable. Now, transparent collaboration. Yes, digital tools can facilitate the collaboration among like across communities, across companies. So this is the companies that you can find in the home space, or between or among members in one organization. And when I say transparent, so it means everything can be seen, everything can be read by all members of the discussion. Okay, so this is the example of the practice coming from Merja. So she made workshop for 4 employees, and she also used face-to-face discussion using more than one language. So we may conclude that The participants may come from different communities, may come from different companies, and they may speak different languages. So the facilitator covered or supported the discussion with more than one languages. And another tip is, if you want to support the collaboration, then you can use your whiteboard because it is efficient. Like, this is virtual whiteboard, so they do not need to spend money, or they do not need to go to somewhere else. And then it supports freedom because the participants can share ideas using any features. Like, if they want to draw, they can draw. If they want to type something, they can type. And the focus is on ideas. It means if you're the facilitators and you find some mistakes, like some grammar mistakes when they made discussion, then you have to remember that the focus is on the ideas, not the perfections, right? And okay, so that's all. The conclusion is, digital tools or digitalizations can help us, the facilitators, to encourage our participants to be more active. And the last is, I want you to remember this: technology is nothing. Steve Jobs said, what is important is that you have a faith in people, that they are basically good and smart. And if you give them tools, they will do wonderful things with them. What does it mean? Okay, so it means, let's try, let's learn, let's use our digital tools as optimally as possible, so that we can give a lot of things to other people, and we can get something from our digital tools also. Because if we do not do the act, if we just see it, then our digital tools will also be still there, sitting, maybe sleeping, maybe. Our digital tools will never give something for us, will never do something for us if we do not ask them, if we do not collaborate with them. So we have to do it also. Thank you.